Be careful, all of you." Not realizing why they had to be careful, the dragon deities, the turtle, and the serpent all lowered their weapons and stepped forward to look. With a loud whoosh, the monster spirit threw up the wrap again. Unable to care for the 5 dragons and the 2 generals any longer, the great sage Sun leapt up to the ninefold heaven with his somersault and fled. Those dragon deities, along with the turtle and the serpent, were stored up also in the wrap and taken captive. After the monster spirit returned to the monastery in triumph, he had his prisoners bound with ropes and locked in the underground cellar, where we shall leave them for the moment. Look at the great sage, who dropped down from the clouds. Reclining listlessly on the mountain slope, he said spitefully to himself, "This fiendish creature is most formidable." Unwittingly, his eyes became shut, and he looked as if he had fallen asleep. Suddenly, he heard someone crying, "Great sage, don't sleep. Go get help quickly. Your master's life won't last very long." Opening wide his eyes and leaping up, Pilgrim saw that it was the day sentinel. "You clumsy deity!" shouted Pilgrim. "Where have you been all this time, lusting after your bloody offerings? You haven't shown up to answer your roll call, and yet you dare come to disturb me today. Stick out your shanks, and let old monkey give you a couple of strokes of my rod just to relieve my boredom." Bowing hurriedly, the sentinel said, "Great sage, you are the joyous immortal among men. How could you be bored? By the decree of the Bodhisattva, all of us are to give secret protection to the Tang monk. We thus work with the local spirits and the like, not daring to leave him at all. That's why we have not come to see you. How could you blame us instead, if you're giving him protection?" said Pilgrim. "Tell me, where has that monster spirit imprisoned my master, the constellations, the guardians, the protectors of monasteries, and the rest of them? What sort of suffering are they enduring now? Your master and your brothers," replied the sentinel, "are all hanging in the corridor by the side of the treasure hall, while the constellations have herded into the underground cellar to suffer there. We haven't had any news from you for these 2 days. Only when we saw just now that the monster spirit had captured some divine dragons, a turtle, and a snake, and sent these, too, into the cellar, did we realize that they were warriors fetched here by the great sage. Your humble deity came especially to find you. The great sage must not grow weary. You must go again quickly to seek help." When he heard these words, Pilgrim began to shed tears as he said to the sentinel, "At this moment, I'm ashamed to go up to heaven. I'm embarrassed to go down to the seas. I dread the Bodhisattva's queries. I'm sad to see the Buddha's jade mien." Those who had been taken captive just now were Turtle, Snake, and the 5 dragon sages of Patriarch Jinwu. "I have no other place to go for help. What am I to do?" Smiling, the sentinel said, "Please do not worry, great sage. Your humble deity can think of another powerful army, which, if you succeed in bringing it here, will certainly subdue this monster." Just now, the great sage went to Wudang of the South Jambudvipa continent. Well, this army is also stationed at the same continent, in the city of Bingqing, on the Shui mountain, what is now called Sizhou. Located there is the preceptor of state King Bodhisattva, who has vast magic powers. Under his tutelage is a disciple of his by the name of Prince Little Zhang. He has in his service also 4 great divine warriors, who brought to submission in years past the Lady Water Mother. If you go there now in person and ask for his kind assistance, I am certain that the fiend will be captured and your master rescued." Delighted, Pilgrim said, "You go back to protect my master and don't let him be harmed. Let old monkey go for help." Mounting his cloud somersault, Pilgrim left the fiend's place and headed straight for the Shui mountain. He arrived there in less than a day. As he stared at it carefully, it was a marvelous place indeed. To the south it's near River Fords. To the north it presses on the River Huai. To the east it reaches the sea coast. To the west it connects with Fengfo. On the peak there are towering edifices. In its fold there are surging streams. Strange, craggy boulders. handsome, knotty pines. 100 kinds of fruits all in season and fresh. 1,000 sprigs of flowers blooming in the sun. People, teeming like ants, go back and forth. Like rows of wild geese, the boats come and leave. On top there are the temple of auspicious cliff, the palace of Eastern Mountain, the shrine of 5 miracles, and the monastery of Turtle Mountain, where bell tones and incense rise toward the sky. There are also the Crystal Stream, the 5 Pagoda Valley, the Immortals Terrace, and the Apricot Garden, all lighting up the city with their pastoral hues. Languid white clouds stretch overhead. Birds, though tired, serenely sing. Why mention the charm of Tai, Song, Hung, and Hua? Here's immortal beauty like Peng and Ying. The great sage could hardly make an end of enjoying this scenery. After he passed the river Huai, he went through the city of Bingcheng, and went up to the gate of the great sage Chan Monastery, where he found magnificent halls and elegant long corridors. There was, moreover, a towering pagoda, truly 1,000 cubits tall, jabbing clouds and sky. A golden flask piercing the jade-green void. Up and down its halo holds the universe. Not one shade darkens its screens, both east and west. Treasure bells, wind-blown, will make celestial chimes. Shell bark pines, sun-drenched, face this Sanskrit hall. Spirit birds, in flight or rest, speak frequently. When you gaze on the Huai's endless eddy. Enjoying the scenery as he walked along, Pilgrim went straight up to the second-level door. By then, the preceptor of state King Bodhisattva had already learned of his arrival, and he went out of the door with Prince Little Zhang to meet his visitor. After they saluted each other, Pilgrim said, "I'm accompanying the Tang monk to go to the Western Heaven for scriptures." On our way we ran into the Little Thunderclap Monastery, where a yellow-brow fiend disguised himself as the Buddhist patriarch. Unable to distinguish the true from the false, my master immediately bowed before him and was caught. The fiend then had me sealed inside a pair of symbols, but fortunately I was rescued by the constellations descending from heaven. I smashed his symbols and fought with him, but he used a cloth wrap and took captive all of the gods, the guardians, my master, and my brothers. I went just now to the Wudong Mountain to seek the help of the August, one of the mysterious heaven, who ordered the 5 dragons, turtle, and serpent to capture the fiend. But they, too, were caught by his wrap. Your disciple now has neither refuge nor home, and that's why he has come especially to see the Bodhisattva. I beg you to exercise your mighty power, the magic that brought the Water Mother to submission, and the wondrous potency that redeemed the multitudes, and go with your disciple to rescue his master from this ordeal. When we succeed in acquiring the scriptures so that they may be forever implanted in China, we shall proclaim the wisdom of our Buddha and his everlasting perfection. Your affair today, said the preceptor of State King, indeed concerns the prosperity of our Buddhist religion, and I should go with you in person. But this is early summer, a time when the river Huai threatens to overflow. It was only recently that I brought to submission the great sage water ape. That fellow, however, tends to grow restless whenever he comes into contact with water. I fear that my departure from this place will lure him into mischief, and there's no other god who can bring him under control. Let me ask my young disciple and 4 other warriors under his command to go with you. They'll assist you in capturing this demon. Pilgrim gave thanks before mounting the clouds with Prince Little Zhang and the 4 warriors to return to the Little Thunderclap Monastery. Prince Little Zhang used a mulberry white lance, while the 4 warriors all wielded red steel swords. When they went forward with the great sage Sun to provoke battle, the little fiends again went inside to report. Leading the rest of the monsters, the fiendish king came roaring out and cried, "Monkey! What other persons have you brought here this time?" Ordering the 4 warriors forward, Prince Little Zhang shouted, "You lawless monster spirit! You have no flesh on your face and no pupils in your eyes, and that's why you can't recognize us. Where are you from, little warrior?" said the fiendish king. "That you dare come here to give him assistance? I'm the disciple of the preceptor of state King Bodhisattva," replied the prince. "The great sage of Suzhou. These are the 4 divine warriors under my command, who have been ordered here to arrest you." With a laugh, the fiendish king said, "What sort of martial prowess does a little boy like you possess that you dare to be so insulting? If you want to know about my martial prowess," said the prince, "listen to my recital. The state, Flowing Sand, was my ancestral home. My father was Flowing Sand Kingdom's king. Illness plagued me at the time of youth, a victim of a baleful natal star. For long life I sought a teacher far away. I was lucky to meet him and be given a cure. Half a pellet and my ailments dispelled. I left my princeship to follow his way, and acquired the art of ne'er growing old. My features are those of eternal youth. I have attended Buddha's birthday feast. I have trod the clouds to reach his great hall. I've caught a water fiend with the wind and fog. I've tamed tigers and dragons on the mount. The grateful race built me a pagoda tall, and sorry light illumed the deep, calm sea. My mulberry lance is quick to bind a fiend. My cleric sleeve can a monster subdue.